Man, if there was a history for the craziest football in the last 23 seconds of a game, this would have to take the cake. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions versus those Dallas Cowboys. Yo, 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 what's up, Eagles Nation, Sports Nation? It's your boy, Cool Eagle, back here in another video. Just want to come talk to you guys because, whoa, do we have a lot to talk about after this crazy game Dallas just had versus the Detroit Lions. A game where a lot of Eagles fans were hoping the Dallas Cowboys would do something right and spoil the Detroit Lions' chances at getting that number one seed, a seed that is still being sought after in Week 16. Yes, tomorrow's lineup of games in the NFC, notably the Eagles and the Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers Commanders, all define who is going to get the number one seed, even though I still feel like it's pretty much over if you watch my last video because I don't see the 49ers losing to the Commanders. Like, yeah, yada, yada, right? But on this game, what the hell is up with the Detroit Lions? They had every chance to take this game away from the Dallas Cowboys. You get two turnovers on the Dallas Cowboys, both in the red zone. Dak Prescott throws the interception in Detroit Lions territory, and then you get CeeDee Lamb fumbling in the red zone for a touchback, and the Detroit Lions just can do anything, even though we can credit the tenacity and the ferociousness of the Dallas Cowboys and Dan Quinn in their scheme to get pressure on Jared Goff and turn him into a pumpkin, which he clearly was. Because two interceptions is ridiculous, especially on the one of the last two drives of the game for the Detroit Lions. You throw an out route where the DB is clearly undercutting the ball and you had a running back up the middle. This is the same shit that we saw with Dak Prescott in the last 2 minutes of the Eagles game that I am personally glad that he didn't see. You know, with Shoemaker or Ferguson, with like whichever tight end came in the middle in the last 2 minutes of that Eagles game, Jared Goff didn't see that as much as Dak Prescott didn't see that. And that probably could have, broke the game open, and the Detroit Lions could have get that last second field goal or a touchdown or something to make this game more entertaining than what it's been for at least 95% of it. And I'm just being generous because if we're being real, the game really wasn't that interesting until like the last minute and 45 seconds that Dallas left on the clock for Detroit to have a chance to win the football game. But when you have a quarterback like Jared Goff, you know what I'm saying, it really doesn't mean jack shit because he ends up just giving it away. He ends up throwing like inaccurate passes. He ends up throwing it to the other team. So, I mean, in the Dallas offense was literally giving the game away because again, as I said, they had two turnovers in the Lions territory, and the Lions offense just didn't do anything. Now, the highlights that I can say about this game is that Dan Campbell has some balls. I'll give him that. That fake punt in his own territory in the first half, amazing. Something that you can't coach because that takes balls and you have to really believe in the strategy of your coach to really pull that off. And they did that, but they just couldn't finish drives because Jared Goff was giving it away. The offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, was calling the same effing run play on every third and short. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just getting it to your guys, Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams, who unfortunately couldn't be present in the last 5 minutes of the game due to an unknown injury, even though, like they said, it was an ankle. But if you watch the replay, I don't know what injury his ankle could have taken. You know what I'm saying? But this game, although boring as it was and unentertaining, uninteresting, the Detroit Lions had a chance to really take this game, even though when you really think about it in hindsight, they really don't need to because they've already won their division, something that they haven't done in 30 years, whatever. But even the announcers were agreeing with my assessment that if I was teammate on the Detroit Lions, I would feel really bothered about this game, because if you think about the last 23 seconds of that game, just specifically, because again, we can talk about how the Detroit Lions marched on the Dallas Cowboys in like a minute 22 seconds of that minute 45 that the Dallas Cowboys gave them to really seal the game. Because in the last 23 seconds, I'm thinking the offensive lineman is an eligible receiver that could catch the ball for a touchdown, because all of us have seen that before. Like my dad, who I was watching the game with, he was saying that the offensive lineman can't catch the football, even though us real sports fans have seen this kind of play before, but they called illegal contact, which is so weird to me, because, like, if you're an eligible receiver, should you just be able to do what a receiver does? The play wasn't a screen, so how was it illegal contact? The lineman was literally firing off the ball like a wide receiver to get into the end zone. That probably could have sealed the game. But in my mind, I'm thinking that, geez, are the referees trying to give this game to Dallas because it's at home? Because when the game was at 2013, I was already screaming conspiracy, because the spread itself was 7 points. So the refs were probably already a little upset about that, because I don't know what illegal contact you've seen if the guy is already in a eligible receiver, and that's what Dan Campbell and the lineman himself were arguing. Like, so, like, y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments about that, because maybe I'm just not up to date on the refereeing rules as far as like what's illegal contact for an eligible receiver on a particular play. Y'all let me know about that. But I'm just saying, if I was a Detroit Lions player, I would feel some kind of way about that. You had a chance to take this game into overtime, and even though they didn't give it to you on the first time, cool. Why didn't Dan Campbell just take the effing extra point and potentially take this game to overtime? You get the ball. You're ball very well against the Dallas Cowboys, albeit those crazy run plays on those third and shorts that stalled drives, right? But I just don't know. If I was a Detroit Lions player, I'd be very upset about how that game ended, because that game could have went to overtime, and at that point you would have a 50% chance of winning the game, an extra 15% if you get the coin toss, because you're able to run on this Dallas defense and you're doing a good job at passing the ball, albeit Jared Goff's two horrible turnovers. Horrible turnovers. But it is what it is. A win's a win. Congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys for doing what they did at home. They have 18 straight wins. CeeDee Lamb broke records tonight, held by Michael Irvin. That shitty ass Ring of Honor. Don't give a fuck about that. But let me know what y'all think in the comments about this, because this was a very, gut wrenching game. Even if you weren't a fan of either team, it's just like, in the back of your mind, if you're not a casual, and even if you are, that you can take the extra point and move this game into overtime, but you don't. You decide to go for a 2-point conversion on consecutive drives. Why is that? I just don't get it. But maybe y'all know more than I do. Like, leave your thoughts in the comments. I just want to come talk to you guys about that game, because it was crazy. I have a lot of thoughts on it. I want to talk to you guys. I love you guys. Remember, like, subscribe, get the content out, and we got more content on the way. The Eagles play the Cardinals tomorrow. I gave my thoughts about that game last game. Hey, we just got to win it, because now that the Cowboys have won this game, now the Philadelphia Eagles are forced to win out to get the division. And even then, we still got to rely on the 49ers losing that game to the Rams, because they're not losing to the effing Commanders in D.C., who are a middling team about to fire their coach. You know what I'm saying? So we're hoping the Rams can beat them. But a caveat to that, if the Rams win and Seattle loses, you're talking about Minnesota or LA getting that 7 seed, and the Eagles being the 2 seed. You got to play LA, you got to play LA or Seattle or Minnesota. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Again, we got more content on the way. Love doing for you guys. Like, subscribe, and Cool Eagle is out here.